Welcome back to East Coast DNA. Darcy Walsh here again, and this time I have a full band with me. So we have north of nowhere, not south of somewhere, like I said earlier. So
not going nowhere.
So we were just chatting about where you're based out of, and it sounds like you have a good range of the region. But I'm curious too, like you're Amherst based yourself, so do you get a lot of exposure on both sides of the New Brunswick Nova Scotia border?
Well, that's something we've always thought would be easy.
Yeah.
Like Sackville is a border town to where we usually play our shows out of, and Moncton is a good busy spot with a lot of population. But we've only played Moncton twice. We've never played Sackville.
Wow.
We're booking with a bar right now in Sackville. We're starting to kind of crack that scene a bit, and we're hoping for some festival slots and potentially some Mount Allison style
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So we try every year. We always put our name out there.
And I've seen your name a lot.
Yeah.
But were you in like some of the East Coast Countdown charts and stuff as well?
So yeah.
Seen your name there. So is this more recent push because of new material, or is it because you're trying to expand your audience in the region, like kind of to your point, like more getting out to New Brunswick, and you've already been really canvassing Nova Scotia? So
for sure, we're trying. There's a bit of everything going on. What would you say?
I don't know. I'd say we're just trying to expand. We're trying to kind of get more exposure in other places too. Right? We've been fortunate. Like we played Moncton a couple times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Being very lucky opening the league and stuff like that. And, yeah, we'd like to definitely try to expand our horizons.
Ideally, for me, it's like if we can play. We've never played in PEI.
Oh yeah.
We want to play PEI.
We have some PEI viewers, so
Yeah.
I know at least 2 or 3 of the bands that I interviewed from PEI have said if there's any bands from here that want to start playing over there, that they do a trade-off. You bring them here, and they'll bring you there. So
we always do the trade-off.
I'm not going to bother naming names because there's a few people. So if any of you guys are watching, you got some guys right here that are willing to hit the road with you. So there you go.
If you've ever had our Instagram, North of Nowhere Music, in your DMs, I guarantee you, I've already said, we'll do show for show.
Awesome.
I don't go none of that play stuff. It's show for, you want to play, we want to play, we'll give you one in our hometown.
I like to see that because
we want to build a scene, we want to build a network.
Well, you know yourselves where you have a good Nova Scotia base now and you're trying to expand. There's so many of those bands like I focus on East Coast music, so I see it all the time. There's like Halifax famous bands, and then there's a band that does really well in New Brunswick, but you drive an hour away and nobody here heard of them. Right. But like most of the people are phenomenal musicians, people that maybe don't have some of the technical experience or like the road battled experience of playing live all the time. They're still like doing top notch showcases at events like this and everything. So I'm not saying we're missing it because I know that there's a lot of people out there in the industry right now that are trying to find those pathways, but I do think that bands like yourselves that are good at self-promotion and you're doing a lot of stuff on your own, there's a lot of opportunities out there for similar bands that are 2 or 3 hours away so that you can expand the East Coast is a huge portion of Canada. Absolutely. And we're not always, we're good at networking and getting to know each other and supporting each other, but we're not necessarily collaborating enough in the ways that we could.
Yeah, it's super hard. Like I have tried and tried. I've reached out to so many bands in the Maritimes, like everywhere except for like we always want to get to Newfoundland. We've never really thought about it that much yet, but we got to get there. We've got some people saying you got to come over and play.
Like it's like let's take 3 or 4 bands from like all over Nova Scotia and be like, let's do like a mini tour.
Absolutely.
Atlantic Canada or like let's do Halifax, Sydney, like kind of do like an area and hit up Moncton stuff and come back as like a package kind of thing.
Like in this, like you probably get some viewers I talked to. I said, hey friend, here's what we're trying to do. We want to take 4 bands. We want 4 hometown shows.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do it 4 weekends in a row. Boom, boom, boom.
That's exactly what you got to do.
You got to plan it. It's hard, four bands. What's that? 12, 16 people.
Yeah, it's impossible to coordinate, but
16 schedules. But I have tried that 100 times with 50 bands in the Maritimes.
Yeah.
And every time it's like ghosted or Timmy can't make it. Funeral, death in the family. It never works. I would love to make it work. I'm always gonna try to make it work. Cause like I dream of this scene where it's like, all right, well, we want to play Amherst. And then we want to go down the North Shore. We want to go Amherst, New Glasgow, Antigonish, Sydney.
Yeah.
Or anywhere's in between.
Yeah, and I'm biased. I always want people to come to New Glasgow. Yeah. And, like, we were just hanging out with this shoebox crew on the other side of this camera. So, like, they're there. It's a great opportunity. But I would also like, we had James on here. I've been buddies with him for a couple of years. I'd love to get up to Amherst and check out the bands that James is checking out in Amherst that don't make it all the way to New Glasgow. But I'd also like to see that those bands make their way to New Glasgow. So
those 4 bands, like that, the North Shore team or whatever you want to call it, they could do that one, you know, if there's a month, okay? Yeah. The shows. That's huge promotion for everybody. It's a commitment of time. Yeah, sure. You get 4 bands doing this unique kind of showcase of experience, half-an-hour sets. Well, guess what? Now you get this maritime music mind state where it's like, hey, guys, we're going to showcase this in Moncton, Fredericton, and Edmundston.
Yeah.
Same 4 bands. That you could get some local bands if you got to swap them in and out. You got to swap them in and out. But either way, you get this buzz. You're doing a high energy show with 4 high energy bands. You're doing a folky show with 4 folk bands. Like, I'm sure it's been tried 1,000 times.
Well, but a couple examples without getting too far into what other people are doing. I know, like, I was just talking with people from like a motorcycle and skunk motel, and they just kind of did a tour where they were supporting each other and going around. And from the outside, I'm a fan of both those bands, and I know some of the members. So, I mean, once again, I'd be biased.
Yeah.
But when you see those tour posters and you see that they're hitting all the small towns and it's spread out a little bit, like it really does add an air of professionalism to it. You're like, even if you don't follow the indie bands or you're maybe not aware of those 2 specifics, you're like, well, I see that they're playing everywhere, so now I want to take a little extra time and look to see who they are. Maybe I'll go listen to a couple streams to see if I want to go to that show.
Yeah, for sure.
And like yourselves had mentioned when we met that I was aware of you. Similar thing.
Yeah.
I keep seeing North of Nowhere on different posts or different people saying, like, check this out, or I was at this show, or people are saying vote for you because you have a single that's doing good.
Doing all right.
So you see all of that, and then I'm like, okay, well, I don't know who these guys are, but apparently they're doing something. I should probably figure that out.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Just make yourself seem bigger.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's out there doing it. I mean, myself, it's no different on like on media, but when you get into that online persona and everything, it's the same everywhere. Is that there's a goal of what you're trying to do, and you're trying to sell something, so there's an image that you have to build around that. But then there's also the realism of who you are behind it too. So that always eventually comes out.
Yeah, I think with ours, like I get it all the time. People are like, I was in Halifax, and this friend, well now a friend, goes, like you are the exact same person on your posts. Like, like I read them in your voice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what you want. That's the goal.
I literally read your Instagram post as Dylan from Northern Oregon because I know it's you writing it.
That's
I know
awesome.
how you talk. I met you at a show. I talked to you once, and now I see I'm reading it in your voice.
Yeah, there's a few people I could list off names, I'm sure, but like when you start getting into the flow and you're just doing what you want to do, your personality comes through it, and that gives you the authenticity that people want to know a little bit more about the band. So
for sure,
Now, quick little shout out. It's not an official thing. Another example that I had too is that because we're here with the Shoebox Crew too, there is a parallel stage on Saturday that is all of my friends from Pictou County are coming up and performing. That's kind of that same concept. Is I doubt a lot of local Yarmouth people know all 6 bands on that bill.
Right. Sure.
And I see them all the time, but because I'm from New Glasgow, I get the opportunity to see them there. I rarely travel outside New Glasgow for a performance.
Right.
So it's great to see things like that too, even though it's a little bit of a conflict with everything else that's going on here.
That happens.
It's great to see a bunch of people collaborating together to bring what's popular in their area to another area of the province, and hopefully, ultimately, something like that's popular enough you could bring it to PEI, or maybe like, let's all go together to Newfoundland, kind of to your point, right? Yeah, and
like we're so ready for that part. Like you want to go to Sydney, jump on the ferry, and go to Newfoundland. Let's do it. Let's go play George Street.
We got to find Music Newfoundland people. If anybody happens to be watching this, we got to find a way for you to pull some of the Nova Scotia talent over for some showcases.
Flip-flop.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like I said to anybody, we always want to give you a show.
Yeah.
Like I get ghosted all the time, but I always say straight up, I don't want to host you if you're not going to host us.
Yeah.
Because every time we do it, we live in a small area, so every show we do is crucial to how much is oversaturating your market.
Mm-hmm.
How much until you're relevant in your local scene.
Yeah, we try not to play our area too much. It's such a small area. So
we want to burn them out. So when we're playing it now, when we started the band, we were getting, we got 30 people.
Yeah.
Now we're getting 160, 200.
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
Every time, right? And we're really proud of that. We feel like we've worked really hard building the relationship with the local fans. We're playing punk, rockish music in a predominantly country neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was a hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
We stuck with our guns. A lot of cover bands, top 40 guys, and
original music. It's hard, how do you get people into that? But coming from what we were doing, being all original and having people come out and really get into it and sing our songs and stuff, it's okay, we have something here. But we can't keep doing this every weekend because people are it's gonna be oversaturated and stuff. So it's get out there. And
the oversaturation problem, the solution is for bands to do what you're saying and start moving around. That's the only reason I'm really disappointed I don't see it more often, is because when you're in these small towns, if you stay in an area long enough, there is that happens. It can't not happen. It has to happen eventually, right?
And we understand it as artists. We're not we're doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're not painting this beautiful picture where it's wow, every day I want to look at that same picture.
Yeah.
That's frozen in time. That's never been done.
Yeah.
We're doing something that we believe in, we love, we want you to love. But we want to change the picture.
Yeah.
We want you to see, it's all right, well, last time we seen them, they did this. This was their art. They had a 30-minute showcase. They had it like this. They choreographed it this way. And then the next time you see us, we want to show you set 2.
And speaking of that, then, since we are here for a bunch of showcases later in the evenings, are you guys performing somewhere here this weekend?
Yeah.
So we're performing tonight at Johnny's Patches Pub, 7:45, and that'd be our first showcase down here for Music Nova Scotia Week.
Awesome.
This is our first showcase with the Music Nova Scotia crew. With the province. We've met a lot of wicked people.
Mm-hmm.
We come up yesterday. We've been making the most of it. We've met as many people as we could. Today's been a really busy day.
We had a great time yesterday. We got to go out and see all the bands that performed last night. Hotel.
Yeah.
That was a treat for us. There's a few bands there that we like to see.
Yeah.
And, Motorcycle was really awesome to see. They
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really killed it.
That was really
plus take pointers too.
Yeah.
Meticulously pick through other people's stuff. We like this. We didn't like how they did that. Or
I love all music. Yeah. We're trying to build something. We want it to be perfect. And if you come to our set tonight, which if you're free, I hope to see you. If not, no big deal, no problem. But we've worked hard on our set. We've worked really hard on our set. We started this band and we were doing things kind of half-assed. We were rushing things.
Yeah, it was
and then the brakes got hammered down, and it's what do we got to do? And we're all right, well, we want this set to be this way. And we feel like we really took pride in our set to make it what it was, and for what we're making, the music we're making, the high energy, the message that we've always stuck true to, the push to mental health narrative that we all fight with and deal with and believe in.
We all went through all.
We've been through it, right? So it's firsthand. But we made a set around that.
Yeah.
If you get to see it, we're just trying to bring people together. In a world where things are so digital and you're so just you and your phone or you and your computer, we want you to take that moment in the show and look, I say, I see it. You're a stranger, and they're both singing with it.
Yeah.
Do you know each other? No, we go to Moncton and we have a pretty good following there. We've only played there twice, but we had a really good crowd and really, really top-notch fans. And they had no idea who we were.
Mm-hmm.
They were singing.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. It's you guys don't even know us. We don't know you.
Well, that
You're wearing a hat that we sold you, and it looks great. You look great. Good person. Singing our songs. Look what you got in common with the person that you don't know right beside you. Look what you got in common with this guy right there. We don't need to fight here. We just need to enjoy this moment and not feel so alone, so distant.
Yeah.
So go from this feeling of isolation to this feeling of camaraderie, coming together as the people to just get through whatever you got to get through.
These events are great for that too, because it's very easy. Even if you're not super into networking and not looking to meet 100 new people, it's very easy to sit back in a room and kind of look around and figure out oh, you know what? think that group's similar to my group.
Yep.
And everyone's here to network, so it's really easy to start an introduction.
For sure, yeah.
And you get a quick vibe for somebody when you meet them in person, so then you both decide if you want to work together or not, right?
Oh yeah.
So where should people follow you guys online? I know you're heavy on social media too, so Instagram, Facebook.
We are on Instagram, Facebook. I'll run the Instagram. Usually Matt does sometimes. Matt usually runs the Facebook. I'll run it sometimes. We'll cross post the odd post, but usually Matt's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. We'll get the same goal.
Yeah.
Well, I give him a chance to do what he wants to do, and he gives me a chance to do what I want to do.
That's actually ideal because I know from doing social media,
Yeah.
if you're managing both, it's hard to differentiate them enough that the algorithm allows that. Because if you do the exact same post on both, which Meta allows you to do, the second you do it, it's like, I'm not sharing that for you because you're just posting it everywhere.
I already like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Big look, yeah.
And YouTube channel, I imagine, for content.
We're Slack on YouTube. We are on there, and we try to keep it current. We've got music videos on YouTube. Yeah, a couple of music videos for sure. What else? We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music, like any major streaming service.
Perfect.
But we're all about the live show.
Yeah.
We're a live band. We're for the hearts that are beating.
Yeah, and that's the comments that I mentioned that I would have seen online was more so that there's a few people out there. If you follow social media enough, which you guys are following your own accounts, you start to pick out the handles that come up all the time. You're like, they're not musicians. Those are like Uber fans.
Yeah.
And they're just out there. So like that's the feedback I was hearing was about the live show more so than any singles or anything. But I was aware that I was also seeing your name pop up in those. Yeah. So it sounds like a really great time for the band. It's perfect that hopefully people are watching this right after I post it so they have an opportunity to run down and catch you guys this evening. If not, in the near future, is there anything that people should be looking out for tour dates or any new material?
We're working on a new EP right now.
Awesome.
It's done.
It's done.
We got to do artwork, and we're planning on putting it out
early next year. Maybe?
Early next year, yeah.
We're Perfect.
Q1, Q2,
2024.
Awesome. There's a tour planned with that. Getting planned now as we speak. There's a couple local shows, a couple faraway shows. We're going out of province for this trip.
Yeah.
So that should be fun, yeah.
I want to know more about this. So, we got a couple of these episodes that are going up on social media over the weekend. Maybe in a couple months when you're getting closer to do that, we'll have you back for a full feature episode of East Coast DNA, the regular podcast streams and everything too. And then we can get everyone here that just fell in love with you guys to get an update on how they can support you with the new album and get out and catch you live somewhere. Hopefully, we've started to expand the audience a little bit further outside the East Coast. There's a little bit, so hopefully, I know a few of the bands have been on here, have toured through Ontario, Quebec, and occasionally get cross Canada bands, so we're starting to get a little bit out there. So hopefully there's some Ontario people that see some of your dates come up something, and we get a few more people out there to be new North of Nowhere fans.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
I'm going to thank you guys for your time, and I think we'll probably all going to be getting some food before the showcase starts. And you guys got to get there even earlier than I do because you got to set up. Imagine you have a sound check or something too.
Oh, yeah, we got a little sound check for sure.
Perfect. Well, thanks for your time. We'll definitely have you back when you're getting closer to releasing the EP and have new dates. Any updates you have in the meantime, feel free to fire me in an email and we'll pop it up on social media too.
Absolutely, yeah.
And looking forward to seeing you out there, not just on the stage, but to your point, I really like to see how the musicians are acting on the floor in front of the other bands. So I've got a good vibe from you guys already. I think I'm going to see you out there supporting some of your favorites too. So
absolutely. Yeah, we didn't miss a band last night.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to run into each other a lot this weekend. And for everyone else out there, if you're at one of these shows and having a good time, you look over and see one of these faces. Maybe when the music dies down, stop and say hi.
Yeah. We want to talk, as awkward as I can be.
Yeah.
We're all super awkward. We want to communicate. As soon as you get the initial hello over with, we're pretty normal.
Yeah, we'll get lots of practice in for it. So the next time, when you end up at the ECMAs or the Junos coming, because the Junos are in Halifax.
That's next, I hope.
Yeah.
We got goals too, man. We're hoping to crush them.
Excellent. All right, we're definitely going to see each other later. We'll definitely have you back on. And everyone out there that's watching this now, make sure you get down to Johnny's to catch these guys. And we'll see you all later. Bye. And I'm going to hit